What actually happened to my brain since I've been using psychedelics in a microdose type way. This is Microdose U. I am Dr. David Maddow, and this is your brain on drugs. Fried, ruined, game over. And that's what scared an entire generation away from exploring the truth. You remember that commercial from the 1980s, I guess, if you're old enough, right? But they left something out. You see, this is my brain on psychedelics, not fried, not broken, clear, calm, focused, and alive. Hey, I'm turning 70 years old next month. It's crazy, but I'm going to tell you something about my brain at almost 70 years old is that I feel it's clearer. I feel that it's sharper than it felt when I was in my 30s. No brain fog, no mental decline, just growth. They tried to scare us with that commercial with the egg frying and this is your brain on drugs. But I'm here to tell you that it was total bullshit. You see, I remember I grew up and the message was drugs would destroy your brain, destroy your life, destroy our minds. Yeah, they lumped psilocybin and LSD and other psychedelics into a category of dangerous, addictive substances. Well, I mean, it's easy to say that they are, but are they really? I mean, I think I'm living proof that they absolutely are not, especially when I'm considering psychedelics. I'm not talking about dangerous drugs such as heroin, cocaine, meth, those type of things. I wouldn't get anywhere near those, and I do agree they are extremely dangerous. No, there's no question about it. But psychedelics being grouped into the same category? So last week I did an episode on my heart health, and I shared with you how healthy my heart is after having microdosed psychedelics for just about 4 years now. And I had an echocardiogram, and I shared all the results with you. And I think I proved to you, at least in my case, that my heart has been really healthy throughout microdosing psychedelics. And, there's some rumors out there. People say, no, it's going to damage your heart. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. But is it really true? I'm not so sure that's the case. And today I'm going to talk about brain health because, as you can see clearly, people for decades have been talking about how psychedelic drugs are going to destroy your brain. You're going to be a vegetable. You're not going to be able to think. You're not going to be able to be productive in this world, in this life. So let's back up just for a little bit and let's see what actually happened to my brain since I've been using psychedelics in a microdose type way. Okay, so for example, my focus has sharpened. I feel like I'm more present. I understand much more clearly what's going on around me, what's going on in this world, what's going on in this universe. I feel like I just have a better grasp on everything than I did before using psychedelics. Creativity flows more easily. Ideas connect more naturally. And negative thinking, those endless negative loops. I used to have them. I don't know if you have them at all, but I used to have them. I would think of something would happen in my life, and I would start thinking these negative things, and they would spiral downhill until they got really, really bad. Those are pretty much all but gone now. I look at things totally differently. Yes, my brain has been rewired and rewired in a really good way from psychedelics. And even as I age, I told you I'm going to be 70 next month, and so many people that when they get to be my age and even older or even younger start to experience cognitive decline, mental decline, memory loss, all these types of things. I knock on wood, I have not been experiencing anything like that. As a matter of fact, I think it's almost working in the reverse. My brain honestly feels sharper now than it did 4 years ago when I started. Yeah, I have zero brain fog, zero forgetfulness. I mean, look, I am human, and to tell you that I never forget anything, that would be a total lie. But I feel like I can remember more things now from my youth, from my childhood, from my entire life, as well as things that are going on in my present day life. There's just no there's no confusion that a lot of people my age have. My brain seems to be working on it's on overdrive, if you will. It's like it's working in a very efficient way, I guess I could say. I guess that's probably the best word I can use for that. If it's more efficient than it ever has been. Also, I've been using something, and I've talked to you about this before. I've been using a supplement called Lion's Mane. Every day for the past 3 to 4 years, closer to 4 years, every single day. Now, Lion's Mane is totally legal. They sell it on Amazon. It is a mushroom supplement that is pretty much shown to improve cognition, improve your brain, improve the way your brain works. And I can't say for sure that it's only the lion's mane that's doing it. I feel that it's probably a combination of using lion's mane every day and also the microdosing journey that I've been on. I think it's a combination of the two of those that have really been kind of ramping up my brain function. I do believe that. I will share the link to exactly the type of lion's mane that I've been using for the past 4 years in the show notes. So if you want to get the exact same kind that I use, there are a lot of different brands out there, a lot of different types, and a lot of them are probably very good. But as a shortcut, if you're just not sure which one to pick, I'll link mine to Amazon in the show notes. So be sure to grab yourself some. And don't only try it once or twice. That's not going to do any good. Like I said, I've been doing it every single day for 4 years now. And I honestly feel my brain is on overdrive. And I mean in a good way, in a really good way. Now, also, I want to share with you the difference between microdosing magic mushrooms and using them recreationally and just going out and tripping out and and really being like way out there. I'm not necessarily against larger doses. However, I've achieved my success in my mental health rebound and the way I feel just so fantastic every day. I've achieved my success totally on microdosing. Now, that's not to say I've never done a little bit of a larger dose. I've done that, a bunch, but never like one of these heroic doses. They say you have to take a heroic dose in order for this to work. That's, again, I'm calling total bullshit on that. It's simply not true. Through microdosing magic mushrooms over the past 4 years or so, I feel a tremendous difference in the way I just look at life every single day and the way my cognitive function, the way my brain works every single day. I'm literally able to do things now that I wouldn't have the desire, I wouldn't have the capability, or wouldn't have the drive to do 4+ years ago. So yes, these are intentional, small, sub or kind of sub perceptual doses. When I first started with the show, I said, well, you shouldn't feel anything. But I've kind of changed that over the years. And I think you should feel like a little something, a little improvement after you microdose, but it shouldn't be the type of feeling that you're high, you're stoned, you can't function. Nothing like that whatsoever, not even close to that. But you should feel some, let's just say some enhancement for sure. And now, not that I'm waiting for this, but science is really starting to back this up. There have been numerous studies from Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. That's where I grew up. And so it's kind of close to my heart there. And again, studies, they still need to study a lot more. However, somebody like me and a lot of you guys, a lot of my followers, we're not waiting for conclusive data on studies, or else we'd probably be waiting 20 to 30 years. And I don't know about you, I don't have 20 to 30 years to wait on this. I'm willing to go out on a limb and be a pioneer, be a maverick, and try something that I really feel is beneficial and absolutely not dangerous in any way, because I want to get a head start on this, and I wanted to get I've already gotten a head start on this. I'm not waiting. I'm not one of these people that's just going to wait around and just see what happens. No, I take the bull by the horn and I do it. I don't feel there's any downside because, again, let's just use magic mushrooms as the example. Psilocybin, one of the safest plant substances out there, actually, as far as medicinal plant substances. And there's no comparison, if you want to compare this to the safety of pharmaceuticals, of even like alcohol, nicotine, things that are legal. There's no comparison as far as the safety compared to these things. I don't even understand how alcohol and tobacco can actually be legal and sold to anyone, because these are actually very, very dangerous substances. Whereas psilocybin is not dangerous whatsoever. Psilocybin just doesn't help my brain function. It really helps me see my life and I guess the entire world differently. Since I started the microdosing, I just see things from a totally different perspective. And it's very difficult to explain this on a simple podcast. It's hard to explain. But I guess in a way, you'll have to take my word for it a little bit. I'm a different person, and in a good way. That could be bad, but no, I mean in a really good way. I'm a different person, and I feel like this is perhaps one of the most life-changing things I've ever done as long as I've been a little kid. There's no question in my mind. So remember, this is my brain on psychedelics, not scrambled, not fried, just a little clearer, more calm, more focused, and also more alive. And by the way, for those of you that are listening on audio, I didn't even think, I should have said this earlier, but I was holding up a glass of water, a crystal clear, clean glass of water, and saying that is my brain. So you could just imagine that. Sorry if you're not watching that on YouTube. I should not have left that part out. And so if you're curious about this, don't let fear hold you back. Educate yourself. Listen to all of my episodes. I've got a brand new episode that comes out every Wednesday, and they're all packed with really good information for sure. Start your journey when you're ready. But if you're ready now, if you haven't done anything, if you're ready, I actually just put out a brand new 5-part email course on how to microdose magic mushrooms. It's really easy. It's tailored for an absolute beginner that doesn't know anything, and it's totally free. I'm going to go ahead and put the link to this 5-part email course in the show notes, wherever you are, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening or watching. There will be a link to sign up for this free 5-part email course that can get you started. And again, there's no obligation and it's not medical advice. Please remember that. It's just some information to help you out, to kind of educate you and get you started if you want to. And even if you're not really interested in getting started right now, it might be something that you want to check out because it's pretty easy reading, very beginner level again. And you could always have this in your library or in your notes if you ever are interested in the future, for sure. So I highly recommend go to the show notes, click that link, get signed up for the free 5-part microdose course. And be sure to check out my website, microdoseu.com. Microdose with the letter U on the end of it. Also, I am going to answer a couple questions. Sometimes questions come in on my podcast, especially on YouTube, and I don't always get a chance to answer them, but I feel like I'm going to take a little bit of time right here on the show and answer some questions that maybe you're thinking, maybe you're asking, and might help not just the person who asked the question, but a lot of people that might want to know the answer as well. So let's go. The first question from YouTube, and it's from Marcelon, or Marcellon. I'm not sure of the pronunciation. Sorry if I messed that up a little bit. Thank you always for the info. I have a question. Can we get used to the quantity? Can we take a small light trip with, say, 1 gram every Sunday? And can the third or fourth Sunday be such that I won't feel any of the effect anymore because I've got some tolerance now? Marcellon, yes, that's a really good question. And yes, you can definitely build up tolerance. That's why we say when you microdose, it's probably best to take, do it maybe 3, 4, 5 days in a row, but then take a few days off, 2 or 3 days off to kind of reset your receptors, reset your body, things like that, because you can definitely develop some type of tolerance. As far as trying to do like a little trip every Sunday, it's only 1 gram, so actually you might be okay doing it on Sunday, then having the rest of the week you're not doing anything at all. Then the following Sunday, if just for 1 gram, I think you're probably okay. But if you do see the results are kind of going down, you're not getting the results that you intend to get or that you expect, then I would maybe take at least a couple weeks off and then try it again. So kind of reset things, try it again. Because yes, you can definitely develop some tolerance with psilocybin for sure, or I think pretty much any psychedelic. Thanks, Marcellon. I hope that really helps you out a little bit. Next question from Cindy. Let's see. She says she has multiple sclerosis. How long would you guess it might take to repair any damage from the MS? I'm wheelchair bound and I'm frustrated. Well, first of all, Cindy, I'm so sorry. That must be so difficult, and we all feel for you. But how can psilocybin help with your multiple sclerosis? Well, first of all, I want you to be very clear. First of all, again, this is important. This is not medical advice, and also psilocybin is not a cure for MS. But some people with MS actually have reported some meaningful improvements in certain symptoms when using it intentionally and at the right dosage. The potential benefits come down to a few key areas here: pain and muscle spasticity relief. Yes, you can get some relief by using psilocybin for multiple sclerosis for the pain. Some MS patients have actually experienced less neuropathic pain or muscle tightening during or after microdosing or intentional psychedelic sessions. So remember, it is an anti-inflammatory. Psilocybin is an anti-inflammatory, and the anti-inflammatory and neuromodulatory effects of psilocybin could play a role here. Although, yeah, admittedly, I don't know enough about this at all, and probably a lot more research has to be done. But again, I don't think, and again, I want to make it clear, I'm not sure about this, but I don't think there's any downside to microdosing magic mushrooms with MS. I don't think there's any downside, and I think there are definitely potential upsides. Also, when you have MS, let's face it, it takes a mental toll on you. It's not easy. It can't be easy. So many people struggle with anxiety, depression, or even emotional fatigue, and psilocybin has been shown to reduce those symptoms. So again, that's a positive benefit from using magic mushrooms with multiple sclerosis for sure. And again, psilocybin promotes neuroplasticity. It helps the brain reorganize itself and forms new connections and potentially compensates for some of the damage caused by MS. That's pretty cool stuff there. If and I have no reason to believe that's not true, but still remember this with MS, it's still in the early stages. It's experimental. I don't think there's a downside, but if you're asking me how long it will take, that's a really difficult question because I don't know the answer. And even if somebody does not have MS asks me how long it's going to take before they start feeling better, I mean, my answer is generally between one day and, I don't know, several months. That's a general answer when I just don't have any other information because everybody's different. It worked with me pretty quickly, but I also work with other people that it definitely takes quite some time. So I don't really have a definite answer for you. But Cindy, I'm sending you energy. We're all praying for you to feel a lot better. And hopefully this journey will help you quite a bit and get you feeling better every single day. Now, as I talked about a little bit earlier in this episode, I did do something last week. I talked about how psilocybin or magic mushrooms, what effect they've had on my heart. And it was a really good episode. It's getting some really good attention here. And if you haven't seen that yet, if you're on YouTube, I'm pointing to it right here. Just click there. If you're on Apple or Spotify, I'm definitely going to put the link in the show notes. Again, if you haven't seen or listened to this episode yet, it's super, super important. So please check it out. I am Dr. Dave. This is Microdose U. And yes, I do love you.